Alright people, Demetrius here with the Catfish Are Cool channel. Catfish Dave is paying me to catch bait for him. That I done. I went and caught some skipjack, and he wants me to find some fish. He says when you get done, pull this Concord area and tell me if there's anything down there. I said okay. He says if I find fish down here, he's gonna pay me extra so he knows where to fish next time he goes out. It's almost 3 in the afternoon, so I don't have long. I spent most of the day finding skipjack, catching skipjack. I have some very large skipjack. They are very fresh. Is there a fish here? I don't know, we're gonna find out. Dirty South dragon weights, just like Catfish Dave uses. I'm gonna put this ridiculously large skipjack on the middle rod. These big heads can attract a big fish, but they can also cause you to miss them because they can't close their mouth with that much head and cause you to miss the hook's head. Either way, it'll give us a shot at one. I'm gonna throw it out there. If fresh bait is best, we're doing pretty good because this bait is not even an hour old. We're just getting off some really cold days. It's about a 10-degree water drop. Things were like spring, they went back to winter, and now they're going back to spring again. It was cold this morning. It's going to get pretty nice this afternoon, and it's supposed to stay nice the rest of the week. Well, we'll find out if anything's here or not. I hope so, because he'll pay me extra if I find these catfish. Woo-wee, it's warming up out here. We're 15 minutes into the trip and ain't had a nibble. And I'm not seeing anything as we're moving along this channel. I did down there in that hole where we first set up. Must have been the only fish in the river, or at least in this section of it. Right now we're not seeing anything. About 42 foot through here. Alright y'all, we've been several hundred yards. I have passed some fish. We're not getting bit. We're running 0.5 miles per hour. If this was happening to Catfish Dave, he would change his speed. Either go faster or slower. He usually goes faster, so that's what I'm gonna do. Let's bump it up 0.7. Well, we did get bit as soon as I increased speed. This area of the river is not loaded with fish. I have seen a few fish. We increased to 0.7, got bit once. So I'm gonna eat some cheese and decide the next plan. Dag blasted bass boats. Well, that's it, y'all. I just had to eat some cheese. Just had to eat some cheese. I usually get a bite when I'm eating. That's an ugly old Fort Loudon fish right there. Old beat up male, a little bit of mud on top of his head. These fish around here rode hard. They ain't real pretty sometimes. Well, all right, y'all, I'm gonna ride through that same course. I've seen fish, just not in incredible numbers. And this time we're gonna up our speed to 0.9. Well, all right, y'all, we're running 0.9. I went with an even little wider spread on my board. I can probably go up into these coves and stuff and get bit easier. But let's see if we can get these fish to bite. There is a few down there. Well, I'll tell you what, I sure ain't no Catfish Dave. We ain't catching jack squat out here in the channel. Catfish Dave says, if you ain't getting them deep, go shallow. There's a shallow area there, a couple big creeks there, and a really big cove back there. I don't have that much fuel in my boat because I spent most of it catching these skipjacks for Catfish Dave. But we're gonna have to risk it because we ain't getting jack squat deep. It's a pretty long cove here, probably close to a mile long. Eventually gets all the way up into about 2 or 3 foot of water at the end. It's either good or it's going to be dead water one. We'll know as we go. It's not always easy finding fish when you've got a fishing show. It's 4:30 in the afternoon. This creek better be a winner, because one thing I ain't gonna do is miss dinner. 14 foot of water. Still ain't seen nothing but some occasional bait. Catfish Dave says these fish will go as shallow as 3 foot of water. So that's what we're gonna do. Well, all right, y'all, we're hung up on one rod. We just got hooked up on this rod in 10 foot of water. I believe it just came loose. Come on up here, muddy fish. Fish has got mud all down its side. Old fat gut female fish with mud on her. Yeah. Well, we got something. All right, y'all. Getting bites on all 3 rods coming through this certain area back in this cove. Water temps have come up quite a bit, and it's full of bait. Not a real active section of reservoir, but the shallow water is holding the most active fish. These are really big chunks of skipjack I'm using. Use a small bait, you'd probably wear them out in here. There's another one on that big old chunk of bait. Mud all over him. Big old chunk of bait he tried to eat. I'm gonna get that back, buddy. I'm gonna get that back, you let me. There's another one back here. In a very short time. Woo! I got some guy with a dag blasted blower in my video. Old feisty female channel cat. Still got spots on them. Usually when they get that big they lose their spots, but that one decided to keep them. The shallower water is loaded with feeding fish. We weren't using such big pieces, we'd catch a lot more, but I like to use the bigger pieces. he come off? Yeah, no, he's still on. I thought he'd come off there. Come on in here. That's not too bad a one. That's the biggest one of the day right there. Oh, yeah, that's old fat sow there. That one's got to be full of eggs. Well, that's the best one back in here. It's kind of short, kind of heavy old fish. Old fat thing, man. Shallow water is turning out to be the ticket. Catfish Dave says, if they ain't deep, go shallow.